Hey Spencer,
Sean,
how you doing?
better now that I'm talking to you, my friend. How are you?
Not bad. Listen, I want to talk about what a couple of things. Like, every once in a while, someone comes across and goes, "How do I know this isn't a scam?" And the way that I know to tell people that here's how you know it's not a scam is the first thing I'm going to tell you is that if this is your last $5,000, for God's sakes, don't give it to me. I don't want somebody coming into the program and thinking I'm going to make a Hail Mary and federal contracts, and if I don't make this, I'm going to be out on the streets. I'm not in the business of putting people out of business. So that's number one. Number two is to answer your question. Yes, you could get a federal contract before September 20th. Because as I recall in their conversation, I think you're SAM registered already, right? Or no, you told me something about the SAM registration, but I don't remember what it
Uh,
was.
my so a colleague of mine awards these contracts for the Air Force, and he gave me a few steps on how to get government contracts for the military, which you have already surpassed that in the conversation. But he says that he can kind of give me tips and tricks. He just can't personally award them because he knows me, and it would be a problem with conflict.
Right. Okay. So look, we're at September 1st already, and it might take 10 to 14 days to get you SAM registered. So the idea that 6 days after that you could get a federal contract, you know, no.
Mm, pretty short time frame, huh?
I mean, first of all, sometimes it takes the government 30 days. Now, it wouldn't take the government 30 days
Mm,
right now because they're trying to get all the money spent by September 30th. So, it wouldn't, it could happen, you know, and this is the time to be trying to do that. But, nobody can guarantee anybody a federal contract. And so I don't want if you decide that you want to do this, look, I'll support you. I'll freaking give you everything you need to accomplish that. But nobody can guarantee that.
mm, sure. I just was trying to understand the timelines. Like, oh, if I can get started, get the SAM registration, maybe it's like a 7 day window, bang, throw in bids. Federal funding's like, yeah, we want to get money out the door.
Yeah,
Our probability, it's
it is a higher probability now than it is at any other time of the year. You're just trying to do it by the skin of your teeth. Now, look, it's not like October 1st the federal government blows up. Let me explain to you what
mhm,
happens October 1st. So you got a couple things going on. Number one, right now the guys that are SAM registered, they're filling up their bonding capacity. Okay, so you've got a lot of contractors right now that aren't bidding new work because they've already been awarded a whole bunch of work. I mean, I don't know if I showed
okay.
you this the other day, but like if I
Mm,
show you my screen here, um, if I go into my awards notifications, whoops, this one. Okay, I mean, just today, these are awards that went out today to my guys, awards that went out yesterday to my guys. So, I
oh,
mean,
wow.
yeah, it's happening so fast, you know, it's to the tune of, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and so, in every single one of these, you just pick one at random, and this one went for 155, no, that's 1.5 million, isn't it? Yeah. So, contracts are going out like crazy all the time. And so, yes, it's possible. Two things. I don't want your last $5,000, and there's no guarantee, but nobody will help you, I mean, dude, it's Friday night. How hard am I to get a hold of?
I really appreciate that. Um, and yeah, it helps me understand a little better. I just coming out of a challenging couple years on the rebuild and wanting to make this work successfully. I'm working for another construction outfit now, back in Alaska, so I'm not my own contractor. It leads me to a question. You showed how you are doing bids, and you're not even half there. So I don't have to be the guy who knows all this construction experience. I can go, hey, person that I've never done some weird roof job, like whatever it is, pick something out. I could just be the middleman and do those, basically be a middleman like all day.
That's right.
Okay, great. Because I mean, I worked for one of the biggest framing companies in Boise. He's got like, I think 90 million when I talked to him and estimates on the books. They wanted me to come back and do uh, stuff. I can't remember what it is. Hold on, I gotta block this. Someone's trying to call me. Sorry. Um, so that was that. Getting bonded. What does it take to get bonded? How much does it cost for a bond?
It's going to be 3% of your contract amount.
Oh, so you get the contract first?
Yep, you get the contract first, 3% of your contract amount, and then the government will pay you that in 14 days.
Okay. So if let's say I get a contract for 100,000, I need to turn around and pay them 3,000, or I just need to have that set aside.
It'll be your bonding agent, bonding company agent. Now, sometimes this is not no guarantee, but sometimes you can negotiate a deal where you send him a check and ask him to hold the check for a couple of weeks while you get paid by the government, and essentially when he gets the check, he's been paid for the bond, so to speak.
Okay.
Okay.
So that I'm not necessarily out like that 3% myself while I'm going through the process.
Look, I wouldn't say do this for the next 20 years, but I'm saying if you're in a jam and you need some help there or something, get with me and I'll help you make that happen.
Okay. On the bond side, I'm getting all the
Yes,
bond.
on
Okay.
the bond side. Yep.
I would definitely look into that. Yeah, because like to realistically get started, I would have to like do a PayPal credit just on 2,500 right now in process of getting paid for the next thing. And that was in lieu of going, man, if I could lock in contracts, but the numbers might be too much to then, get
That's
a
what I'm saying.
LLC filed.
Like that's what I'm saying. I don't necessarily want to do do business with people who are throwing hail marys. I mean, look, it's I'll take your money, but I just want to make sure your eyes are wide open.
Okay. Because there's still the SAM registration, about 700, 600 for the subscription. It's like, what, 1,300 there, 25. So that'd be, gosh, 37. And then another, because I do Wyoming LLC. On the workshop, on the PDF, that's another question. Is Wyoming a good one to incorporate, or is Nevada the best for federal contracts?
Nevada's not as good as it used to be, and the reason is federal laws have changed the way that Nevada does their corporations. It used to be some tax advantages to having a corporation or an LLC in Nevada, but those have widely gone away. Um,
Okay.
Really, what you're looking for is a state that doesn't have state income tax. That's about
Okay.
the best you can do today. And then you
Okay.
really want to do a corporation if you can, because there's some tax advantages to the payout that when you do owner draws, you might get taxed at say 15% as opposed to 32% or something. But to get you started, like in other words, if you want to get going today, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to just use an existing LLC that you have, and then once you get the money rolling, then the stuff's it's going to be chump change dollars compared to getting going and getting into the process of doing this.
Okay. Because I have an LLC, which is just Spencer Heston LLC. I just
Yeah.
have that as kind of like a boilerplate something. I didn't.
My wife named her. My middle name is Wayne, Sean Wayne Reitmeyer, and my wife's name is Elda Hernandez. She doesn't have a middle name, and it was funny the way that we came about this was 20 something years ago. My mom looked over at me across the room and she goes, Sean, Wayne. And Elda just laughed her ass off, thought that was so funny. And then we got into something happening at the house about a week later, and Elda looked at me and she goes, Sean, Wayne. And I looked at her and I went, Elda. And I realized in that moment she doesn't have a middle name. So I said, Elda blank. Well, we laughed and laughed and laughed about that. But 20 years later, it's really funny. You know, we made all our money in federal government construction. And when you get married to a young girl, you know, she's 23 years old and I was a young man myself. And you know, I'm doing all these federal contracts and we're making a whole bunch of money. And then my brother's accident happens. And then, you know, we go speak on this stage and now all of a sudden we're the GC experts, right? But your wife looks at you and goes, yeah, you're an expert, right?
I know what that's like.
So about 3 or 4 years into GC experts, she's fine. 3 or 4 years into this, it finally triggers in her brain, hey, there might be something to this guy knowing something about federal contracts. You know, now that we got all these people that have paid all this money and they're out there getting federal contract, she says, I think I want to start a federal government. Oh, now you want my help. Oh, now I'm the expert, right? So she says, I want to come up with a name. And I said, I have the perfect name. Wayne Blank Corporation. And it's so funny because she gets phone calls from time to time. Hey, we want to speak to Wayne Blank. Oh, nobody speaks to Wayne Blank.
Oh my gosh. That's classic. I love it. Oh man. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for calling and jumping on.
Yeah,
I
sure.
I want to see if I can crunch some numbers and jump in. I got like, we talked about that, trying to get our contracts. I was like, man, if I could just get in there, get squeezed, I might be able to fast track this. But
It could happen. I just don't want to be the asshole 30 days from today, you know, going, hey, dude, you need to keep bidding jobs, you know, and you're sitting there going, that was, you know, I got no more room to maneuver. And, you know, that's not good for you. It's not good for me. And, you know, and I don't need your money. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. Let Dang it. Better understanding everything. I want to shoot for the long-term marathon because realistically, to do a sprint right now, I would hate to be in that position too.
yeah.
That
Dude, you're
wouldn't.
never gonna hear from me. Jesus, give me all your money. You know, you're just never gonna
Oh,
hear that. And nothing I do is get rich quick, but I have, you know, there's a lot of evidence that I can help you build wealth in your life. But, you know, if it's not the right time, it's not the right time, and I got no problem with that.
yeah. Yeah, I want to see over the weekend how things develop because I submitted. Just to be transparent, I submitted gosh, what is it? Like a loan consolidation, and for a little bit more because I said, yeah, I want to get started as a government contractor directly to a bank. Came back, said, well, you're not in a position, blah blah blah. It's not going to work. It's like, gosh darn. All right, well that didn't, yeah, that didn't fly. So it's just I'm coming out of the tail end of a couple years living on credit cards. To be honest, trying to make things work as a missionary instructor.
Did you watch the Bud video? 357.
I have not seen Bud 357. I looked at some other ones. The one with the black guy, he's an electrician. I was looking at that.
So if you go to GCExperts.com/Bud, BUD, Bud's an interesting guy. When we met him, I didn't know this, but his credit score was 357. And he named his company 358 because he didn't like the negative you know, the association with a 357 handgun.
Oh.
So he named his company 358, I think. And he talks about it in that video and how we brought him back from a 358 credit score to I don't remember if he says the number in the video or he just says, better than average or something like that. But it was clear that, I can take people in dismal situations, but you got to do what I tell you to do, and you got to be willing to
Oh
put
yeah,
in the effort. There, look, there's a process, and I'm, you know, look, you're talking to a guy that clearly I care. Otherwise, why have this conversation? You know what I mean?
100%. But in terms of response to the question, man, I want to make this work as bad as I want to breathe. I got a family of four. I'm going. They're going. I want to do a lot more,
Yeah,
and I just see this. I mean, after a conversation, I literally was visualizing in my mind, totally different place in life, doing government contracts. Maybe even talking to my dad more. I was like, man, we got to do, because he went out when he did that job I shared about the guy who had us clean all these oyster pots out there for $1,000, and he wanted pictures, and he sent us a 1099. I'm like, I think we need to learn how to do that, not be on the under of the stick. And he asked me today, but I had a day off from rain, catching all loose ends. How's it feel? I said, well, it feels like I want to learn how to do federal contracting and just work on paperwork, not beating stakes out in the paper now, right?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, yeah, that's helpful on that, because I do have that, and I did. So I got with an organization, Wyoming LLC. They can do it again. They say if they can build all this stuff real easy for me. It's close to the reservation that I'm Native American from, even though I'm in Alaska right now. I think everything coming out of there is probably going to make more sense.
Sure.
Um, but no, I want to. I'm there. I want to do this. Let me see if it's jumping on now or maybe in a month, one after I've done another month's worth of work here. Quick side question: how much curb and gutter concrete work can you see on your end that the federal government is putting out there? Is that something that you just go on sam.gov, or is
Hundreds
your
of millions of dollars. I mean,
a lot?
yeah. But look, you got to understand that when I say that, I'm not saying that, in Waxahachie, Mississippi, they need a building that needs a gutter and a concrete pad. What I'm saying is that any type of construction, whether it's doors, roofs, windows, siding, painting, sidewalks, parking lot resurfacing, HVAC, transformers, switchgear, controls. Our federal government is the number one buyer of construction goods and services in the world. It encompasses every trade, every type of construction. What I'm saying is that there are multiple $1 million contracts that include that type of work, but not that type of work specifically. It
Mm,
among other things.
okay.
Okay? and and so we're the guys that teach you how to become the middleman between what they're in, because we don't tell the government how to spend their money, right? We don't. We get a list of what they're interested in having done, and then we get in there here, and then we find the subs. We put the team together to go out there and accomplish that work. And it's not easy. It's a bunch of phone calls. I
Sure.
I don't want to say it's not easy. It's easy, but it's 1,000 30-minute or less tasks. 1,000 of them. Okay?
Hmm.
And so every single task that I tell you to do should take 30 minutes or less to do. And if you find yourself spending more than 30 minutes on any given task, call me up because you're screwing something up. You're doing something wrong. Okay? I don't want my guys to ever get stuck. That's why I answer phone calls every hour I'm awake. If I can hear the phone ring, I answer it. If I miss the call, sorry, I'm taking a nap. And I take a bunch of I don't sleep 8 hours a night. I sleep about 2 hours in chunks of 2 hours about 4 or 5 times a day. And
Whoa.
uh, but it's it's complicated being me. But the main focus is that people don't call me about the weather in Austin, Texas. They call me with problems or questions.
And it's like I need to send you some stem cell patches, help you sleep if you want.
I don't know. I've gotten used to the way that I live. It is what it is.
I gotcha. Well, that makes me think a little more. I'm guesstimating um, another month, month range of work on this concrete in Alaska. Then me and my daughter are going back to Tennessee, where I'm not an instructor anymore. But I'm just going to be, that might make more sense after I'm done with my work in Alaska and returning to Tennessee to then go, sweet. Now I can 100% all, I'm not doing nothing but like this and this only. And,
When you're ready
and
to do that, I'm here for you.
I'm just trying to figure it out. I want to start right now. I mean, I've been just like, are you kidding me? I just want to do it and
Well, I
just
mean, if you
run
want
for.
to just do one little thing, if you go to gcexperts.com/Elda Sam, she'll take care of your SAM registration, and then you don't have to worry about that.
GCExperts.com / what was the /
Elda, ELDA, Sam. Elda Sam.
Oh, okay. I see this here. So you could just go straight in to get that registered. So then the registration part can be knocked
Yeah.
out,
Then you're knocked
allowing
out,
that
man.
to speed up that timeline, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, I could actually do that. That's the thing. And then if that gives my timeline, at least that's
Yeah, that's
done.
in motion and done. Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
if
do
that would
that,
speed up
man.
that, I'm able to jump in on those bids before the 20th. Sorry, I didn't want to talk over you.
That's fine.
Awesome. All right. Perfect. That is something I can do today and keep the ball moving forward. I like
There you go.
progress.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, awesome. Thank you, Sean. I'm gonna fill this out and get this ball rolling to at least do that. So would you recommend I just use the pre-existing LLC that I got already? I mean,
I
it's for.
would. It's the fastest way to get yourself into the ball game. You've already got it. And then if you want to
Okay.
change things up later, you can.
Okay. Would I have to re-SAM register with the new entity or?
You would.
Okay. Would that make it to where they're going, oh, you have a good reputation under this name. Now you have a new name.
No,
Okay.
and in fact, in the workshop, that's exactly what we tell people to do. Instead of building one company to $30 million a year, open up 3 companies and do 10 million each. And there's some
Uh,
reasons why we recommend that, but I only mention that because what you just asked.
okay. Sweet. Let me okay, that's great news because yeah, I have that and the EIN and all that. So you said through a corporation. So I wanted to change my LLC and upgrade it to an S corp. Would that be something that would make more sense for this?
Yeah, I've actually done that before. So, only because there's just some tax advantages to an S corp as opposed to an LLC.
Okay, that's what I've uh, that's what I've heard. Not being a tax expert before. Um, wow. Okay. Sweet. All right. I love progress. That's something I can do today. And so, man, thank you. Great story. And I won't be using Wayne Blank Enterprises anytime. Maybe I might do a Bruce Wayne Enterprises just to get, just check a government bid that says Bruce Wayne Enterprises.
Elda's brother is a Batman guy. I'm a Superman guy, so.
I'll just do what's it called? Shield. I actually wanted to do that. I wanted to start an organization called Shield,
Yeah,
Strategic Home, whatever the actual Shield is for the Avengers. I was like, dude,
yeah,
I would
whatever
love
it is. Yeah.
government contractor with the whole thing. Okay, awesome, man. Thanks for the call, Sean. I'm feeling a lot better about the situation of trying to keep going forward. So
Yeah,
I want to
good.
start with this.
Sometimes that's part of the reason I do what I do is there's probably nobody else in your whole world, in your whole life, that you can have conversations like this with. And that's the whole advantage of the, in most businesses, you can't walk down the street and open up somebody's door and go, hey, how are you doing this? They're going to tell you to get bent and get out of here. GC Experts is the first company of its kind that I've ever come across that, we open up that door and go, this is exactly how you do this. And I answer every question. I've just been around, there's so many advantages to this, and I enjoy this. So, here we go.
I appreciate that, man. I've seen plenty of other gurus with all their sales pitches and stuff, and now book another $3,000 call or whatever. It's just like, oh my gosh, what in the world, dude?
You're never going to hear that kind of crap with me.
I see that 100% right now. The real deal, man. That's for sure. Thank you, Sean. Let me. I'm gonna get this Sam thing knocked out. I got on the screen so I can keep going forward in progress, and that's an exciting step forward. I like the progress, and if I can, then come into next week, might be able to just launch into the workshop. See how this weekend goes. Trying to get some funding.
Sounds good. I'm here for you.
Thanks, boss. All right.
All right. See you, Spencer.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Turn this around and,
Real fast?
yeah, real quick.